Thanks for joining me for Yin Yoga today. We'll get started in a few minutes, but I just wanted to show you some of the props that I've brought with me. Of course, I have my yoga strap here. I have a couple of yoga blocks. If you don't have a strap, you can always use a scarf. And this we're going to use for some hamstring stretches later on. I'll show you a few things with the strap. I'll just set these out of the way for now. And I also, if you want to if you have a bolster, so I have this for my couch in the living room, and it makes a great bolster for me. But if you don't have one, you can always make a makeshift bolster. Let me show you how. I have a pillow wrapped in a blanket, and so just take the pillow and roll the blanket around in it. Some people might need 2 pillows, and that'll give you just a little bit more height. We're going to use this to support ourselves. I'll just demo when we come onto our backs and we're lying here, just to open up through the chest. You might also need it when we come into our quad stretch, just to have something to lie on. And if you don't have a couple of pillows, or if you want to grab a couple of blankets, they work just as well. So I'm just going to move all this out of the way. And if you want to have a little eye pillow, if you have an eye pillow, that's great during Shavasana. If you don't, a blanket makes a great eye pillow. And also, lastly, I have a folding chair here. So our folding chair, or any chair that you have, or even a couch. During Shavasana, if you want to come into legs up the wall pose, Viparita Karani, you'll be here. And I'll show you those as we come to them later on in our practice. But for now, just grab all your props and make yourself comfortable. Grab some water too. How's the sound? Is it good? Awesome. Okay. So we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. I am going to grab my bolster to sit on. And this is handy if your hips are kind of tight, like mine feel this morning. Just sit on the bolster or on your pillows and just sit this way. So where your hips are elevated, your pelvis is kind of tilted forward, just a little bit more comfortable. So if you've never done Yin Yoga before, let me explain a little bit about the practice, and I'll talk you through it as we're going through the poses as well. We're going to be holding these poses for about 2 minutes, some of them 3 minutes at a time. And so you want to make yourself as comfortable as possible. That's why we use the props. In some of these, we'll be coming into forward folds, and you can use your blocks, or you can use your cushion out in front of you, or your bolster out in front of you. Some of them will be on our backs. The intention of the Yin Yoga practice is to relax all your muscles, get into the connective tissue and the fascia of the body so that we can invite those areas to open up. Yin is a very, very powerful practice. It's almost like giving yourself a little bit of a self-massage. So be sure to drink lots of water after this practice, and you might feel yourself in a completely different state. At least that's my intention for today, to help you feeling blissed out after the end of your practice. We are in our yin yoga poses, and I talk about this in my live classes. We target different meridian lines in the body, so you might feel yourself, your mood might change, you might feel a difference in energy level. Just be aware of that. What we're doing in yin yoga is we're compressing the tissue, and then when we release that pose, and all the fluid, the blood, everything circulates back into the tissues, into that area, we're hydrating that area. And we're allowing a release tension in the muscles. All right. Okay. I think we'll get started. So I hope you've gathered together all your props. I'm sitting on a bolster. If you're just joining us, I just invited you to bring lots of props with you today. So if you have a yoga strap, a couple of yoga blocks, that's great. If you don't, no worries. You can grab a couple of blankets. A scarf makes a really nice strap. I have a makeshift bolster. You can take a couple of pillows and wrap a blanket around that for a makeshift bolster. If you have a folding chair nearby, or a chair or couch, that's great for your Shavasana pose. Or you can just lie on your back for Shavasana as well. Whatever you choose to do today, you can even take legs up the wall pose, and I'll explain that as we go along. But for now, please just find a comfortable seat. And let's take 3 full breaths together. You can gently close your eyes or take the gaze down the tip of your nose. Take deep inhale, and as you inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, release them down. Do that again. Inhaling deeply and fully. And exhale. And one more breath like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Come back to your normal, natural breath. Feeling the inhale and the exhale. And begin scanning the body for any areas of hidden tension. Relax your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, your throat. Soften your face. Feel the shoulders softening and dropping down away from your ears with every exhale. Soften your belly and notice the legs relaxing a little bit more. Now let's set an intention for our practice this morning. So I'd like you to recall a moment that might have happened recently that made you feel really uplifted. Maybe it was just taking a walk in the woods, playing with your kids. Maybe it was during a workout session. And go back to that moment and imagine how you felt. And try to label that feeling. It might be something like happy, peaceful, joyful, connected, strong, empowered, or any other word that comes to mind. And then gently turn up your hands up towards the ceiling, keeping your palms open. And place that word in the palm of each hand. You may choose to keep your palms open, or you might gently curl your fingers over your hands, holding that word in the palms of your hand. With every inhale, feel the energy of that and amplify that feeling. And as you exhale, deepen into it. And just using our imagination here, recalling that moment, feeling that sense of upliftment, making that our intention for today. And then we'll bring one hand to the chest, one hand to your belly, and place your hands there. Imagine with every inhale, that word just infusing your body. and softening with every exhale. And with every exhale, feel yourself relaxing even a little bit more. On the inhale, feel the sense of upliftment. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. Inhaling perhaps to the count of 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Continue with that rhythm of your breath, whatever's natural and easy for you to maintain. And then gently release your hands back down to your lap or on your knees. And notice how you feel in this moment. We'll slowly make our way into our first yin pose, butterfly pose. I'll turn on some music here. So I'm going to bring my legs out in front of me. For a yin butterfly, you want your heels away from the body, so you're making a beautiful diamond shape with your legs. And I'm going to bring my bolster out in front of me. You can bring your towels or your blankets out in front of you or your pillows. And then I'm going to fold forward. So maybe you just don't need too much height. Maybe you can just allow your body to just drape forward, holding on to your feet and resting your head down. Now my head is hanging out in space. Ideally, I want it resting on something. That's where the bolsters come in handy. So you can rest the side of your face against the bolster or your forehead. And then allow your body to completely settle here. Just focus on that exhale and lengthen your exhale. You might start feeling this after about 30 seconds to a minute. Your body will respond to the stretch. You might be able to take it a little deeper. And if that's the case, then adjust your props and deepen into the pose. If your body feels like it's screaming right here, you might need to back off. So one way to gauge that is by your breath. If your breath gets shallow and jagged, then you know you've gone too far. If you can maintain a fluid, smooth breath, then you know you're in the right place. Some good techniques to use here are to focus on your breath or to focus on the sensations in your body. We'll be here for 6 more full breaths. And then slowly come up out of that pose. And we'll bring the bolster now over to your left side. I'm going to sit sideways to the bolster so my left foot is in my right thigh. And here, I just want to get a nice opening in the side body. So the bolster makes a great place for me to rest. It's way up against my hip. I'm going to lean over it. Stretch my arms out long. And bring maybe my hands together. If this is too much for you, you'll start feeling a stretch in the right hip flexor, maybe along that IT band, along the right side of your waist. If this is too much for you, just simply rest your hand on your hand, and you can bring your top arm behind you and just hang out here. Or maybe add a little bit more height by folding the bolster or the pillows or the blankets. And then once you arrive in your pose, just hanging out here, resting, close your eyes. Body has its own intelligence. It'll know how to unwind itself. If you can just relax into it and breathe, focus on your exhale. Focus on the sensations you're feeling. So if you close your eyes, you get the sense of what's going on from the inside out. Just noticing, becoming mindful, becoming aware where you're carrying tension in your body. And as you lengthen your exhale, inviting that tension to release. So as we lengthen the exhale, we're activating our parasympathetic nervous system to elicit the relaxation response in the body, to invite the body to let go. Slowly bring your top hand, your right hand, to the floor, press yourself up, and we'll move to the other side. So I'm going to change the cross of my legs. Bring the bolster now to my right side, and fold over on this side. Once again, might take a few moments for your body to settle down. And then once it's settled, just find stillness here. Nothing to do. But just be present to the sensations in the body. Be aware of the breath. Letting go with every exhale. Deepening, softening into the stretch, into that connective tissue and the fascia. Close your eyes and notice how this side might feel a little different from the other side. Just becoming aware of the subtle differences in the body. Focusing on that exhale. Sometimes it takes the body a little while to settle into the poses, especially when you start this practice. Because we're often so busy running around. It takes a while for the body and the mind to settle. Take your left hand to the floor, slowly press yourself up. And then we'll move the bolster over to the side. We'll use it later. Make your way onto your hands and knees. And we'll go through some cat-cows here. So sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of movement between these stretches. Inhaling, dropping the belly, opening up through your collarbones, coming into your cow pose. Exhaling, arching your back like a cat. Pull your belly back towards your spine. Press your hands into the floor. And from here, we're going to press back into a child's pose. Inhaling, scooping the body forward, chest forward. Exhale, cat. Back into your child's pose, making the circular pattern with the body. Inhaling forward, arching back, pressing the floor away. Exhaling back. Inhaling and exhaling. Come back to center and step your right foot forward. We're coming into dragon pose. So my hands can be on either side of my foot here. I'm getting a nice stretch in that left hip flexor, and I'm leaning the hips forward and down. If you want some padding for your knee, grab your blanket, or you can even fold your yoga mat over and place that underneath your knee. Now some of us might just want to stay here, that might be enough. You can also use some books here or your blocks here if you'd like underneath your hands, or you can place your hands on your thigh and come upright a little bit more. And this might be a good place for you to pause. If you need a little bit more sensation, you're looking for a little bit of spinal twist, then I'm going to take my left hand, bring it to the floor, drop my left hip to the floor. I'm going to grab my right knee, and I'm going to twist it out, taking my gaze over that right shoulder. I'm going to hang out here for a few breaths. And remember your breath. So anytime it becomes too jagged or rough, you know you've gone too far. Allow the breath to be fluid and smooth. As I'm twisting here, I'm feeling sensation in my left rib cage. My left rib cage is just falling down towards the floor. Close your eyes and take your awareness within and just notice the sensations that you feel. We'll be here for 3 more full breaths. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Inhaling. And exhaling. 1 more breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. If you've taken the twist like I have, press into your left hand. Slowly come up. Find your dragon pose again, leaning the hips forward. Take a breath here, inhaling. And now exhale, we're going to come back. Move the hips back, move your hands back. Coming into half splits. So here I have my hands on the floor. I'm allowing my body to just round forward. Feeling a stretch in the back of that right leg. My toes are flexed up towards the ceiling. That engages my quadricep muscle. And that allows the hamstrings to stretch out a little bit more because they're the opposing muscles. Close your eyes and notice the sensations you feel. Come back to your breath. If you feel strong sensations, focus on that exhale. I like to use a lot of visualization in my practice as well, and here you might imagine the muscles themselves are getting more pliable, like Play-Doh, softer. You might use a visualization of an ice cube melting in hot water, or hot chocolate, or a marshmallow, whatever works for you. Three more full breaths here. Deep inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, inhale, and exhale. And you can exhale through your mouth or through your nose, whatever's most comfortable for you. One more time, inhaling deeply and fully, expanding the lungs. And exhaling completely. From here, we're just going to slide back, sit back. And grab your bolster, bring it behind you. So I'm going to slide down on my yoga mat, grab that bolster behind me. And my left knee is still bent. My left leg foot is out to the side. Now I'm going to get a stretch in that left quadricep muscle as I lean back into half saddle pose. Arms out to the side. Close your eyes. Allow the body to arrive. Some of us are just going to be able to get up here, and that's going to be enough of a stretch. Some of us might not even need a bolster, and you can come flat on your back. Wherever you are, just allow yourself to find some stillness here and surrender to gravity. Just let yourself go. If you have the bolster here underneath you, bring your arms out to the sides. Feel this opening through your chest. Relax your face. Relax your jaw, relax your chest, relax your throat. Feel yourself just surrendering to gravity, letting go with every exhale. As you take this time for your well-being, nurturing your body. And if you've been working out a lot with us this past week, you might find that this practice complements that. So you're actually getting a little nice stretch, giving your body a little bit of a break, taking a rest day. Or if you had your workout this morning, this could also feel nice for your stretch afterwards. So, focusing on that exhale. And letting go with every exhale. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Slowly bring your hands to the floor. Press into your forearms or your elbows to press yourself up. Move that bolster out to the side. I'm going to face you so you can see me now. And from here, I'm just going to hang on to my ankle, pull that knee out to the side, and then start folding over that extended leg. My right leg. You might want to take a bolster out in front of you and fold forward here. If this does not feel so comfortable for you, another option would be just to bring your foot into your thigh and fold forward. But typically, for most people, this works better. You can get a little deeper into your forward fold. We're not going to be in this one too much longer. Just a couple more breaths. With every exhale, try to let go just a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And then walk your hands back slowly. Take your left leg, cross your left knee over that right knee, so your knees are stacked. If that's not working for you, you can simply sit cross-legged. And if you sit cross-legged, just notice which leg is out in front, because we'll do the other leg next time. And then from here, we're going to fold forward again. And this is getting more into your hips now. You can reach your hands forward. Close your eyes. Use your props as you need to. We'll take 6 full breaths here. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. Inhaling. As you exhale, imagine that you can soften something in your body, even if it's your face, your jaw, your throat, your forehead. Or perhaps you can feel your low back, your hips melting. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then slowly walk your hands back. Leave your left foot outside your right thigh, your knees up towards the ceiling. You can stay right here if you like. We're coming into a twist. Or you might want to bend that right knee. And then you're just going to bring your left hand behind you. Hug your left knee in. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Taking your gaze either behind you and adding your neck. Feels okay on your neck. If you need a little bit of a neck stretch today, you can take your gaze over your front shoulder and then just drop your ear, right ear towards right shoulder. And you'll feel a nice stretch on the left side of your neck. Maybe you just want to be here today. Or maybe it just feels better to just have your head upright. And as we twist the spine, we're compressing. Imagine that you're wringing out a washcloth. So you're twisting that washcloth, you're twisting your spine here and finding compression between the vertebrae. Keep the shoulders broad, the chest lifted. Let's take one more breath here. And exhale and slowly unwind, come back to center. And as you unwind, now all that synovial spinal fluid is flushing between your vertebrae, hydrating the spine, so healthy for you, especially if you tend to sit. Let's come on back to our hands and knees. Do a couple of rounds of cat-cows, or maybe this time you want to take some hip circles with me. So you can circle the hips around one direction, and then the other direction. Or maybe adding those cat-cows, pressing back into your child's pose, inhaling forward, exhaling back. You can bring your knees together and wag your tail from side to side. Taking your gaze over the opposite shoulder as you do this. And then when you're ready to, we'll come to the other side. So you'll step your left foot forward, coming into that dragon pose on this side. Your hands on either side of your front foot. You can stay right here. I have a really nice stretch in that right quadricep, that hip flexor. Or I can bring my hands onto my thigh. Or I can choose to take that twist. So if I choose to take that twist, I'm going to bring my hand out to the floor and then twist over to the side. Taking my gaze back behind me. So choose whichever variation you'd like, whichever feels right in your body this morning. And hang out here for a few breaths. You'll notice that my front toes are angled out at a 45-degree angle. That's going to feel better on that front knee. And then I'm going to let my right hip fall down towards the floor. With every exhale, feel your body just getting a little heavier. Feel the muscles hanging off the bones, letting go. Allow yourself to be present to the sensations. Don't run away from them. Investigate them with this sense of curiosity. Oh, it's interesting that this side feels a little different from the other. Oh, I feel the sensation here now, and now it's shifted. Maybe after a few breaths it goes somewhere else, and something else calls your attention. So I like to think of yin yoga as we hold these poses for a couple of minutes at a time as little moments, little opportunities for meditation, mini meditation. But we're moving our body And this makes meditation accessible for people. So, but if you just close your eyes and just notice whatever you notice, your breath, the sensations in your body, you start cultivating this awareness from the inside out. And that opens the gateway to meditation. And we'll take 3 more full breaths here. If you're in your twist like I am, you'll press that right hand into the floor, come back into your dragon pose, press the hips forward and down. Take a breath here, inhale, and then as you exhale, hinging the hips back, coming into your half splits, flex your toes up towards the ceiling, pulling the hips back, feeling a stretch in the back of that left leg. And for those of you who practice with me on a regular basis, you know who you are. I know you can go into full splits. Go for it. It's your practice. You're the best judge of your own body, so know what you can and cannot do. You'll know what you cannot do when you feel pain. Never any sharp pain in yin, just comfortable stretch, tugging at the tissues. Even if you feel tingling or prickling, not a good thing. So back off a little bit. It means you're getting into the nerves and you don't want to do that. Allow the body to settle with gravity, letting go with every breath. We'll take 3 more full breaths here. And 1 more deep inhale and exhale. And then slowly lowering back down to the ground. We'll make our way into our half saddle pose. So I'm going to grab my bolster, bring it behind me. And then slowly lower down. Use your hands. Maybe you're up here today. One side can feel very different from the other. Maybe you can make it all the way down to the ground. You don't need a bolster. Or maybe here you are like me, on your pillows or on your blankets. Or maybe you have a bolster at home. Bring your arms out to the sides. Close your eyes and notice your breath flowing fluidly, easily, naturally. Enjoy this moment. Rather than struggling with it, notice what is working in this moment for you, where you're feeling the sensation, where your body is calling to you. And wherever it's calling to you, focus on that sensation. And after a few breaths, you might notice that changes. In Buddhism, they call it the law of impermanence. In my meditation practice of Vipassana, we call it anicca, the sense of impermanence, that there's always activity going on. There's always movement. Even when you think you're still, there's always change, is always happening. And if you can just dive into that and get comfortable with the change, what a powerful tool that can be. Getting comfortable with whatever life presents for you. this balance of yin and yang. Just take 3 more full breaths here. And just when you think that you can drift off to sleep is usually when your body wants to get into the next pose. So you press your hands or your elbows into the floor, press yourself up. And move your props out of the way or maybe out in front of you. You'll pull your knee out to the side so you make this nice L shape with your leg, right angle, and then folding over your front leg, your left leg. And feel free to use your props as you need to, just resting here. Feeling the stretch in the back of that left leg. You might feel some sensation still in the right leg, that's fine, but just hanging out here. Close your eyes, find stillness. Soften your face, soften your jaw. Another full deep breath here, inhale. And a full exhale. And then slowly make your way up out of that pose. This time you're going to bring the right knee over the left. Okay? So remember, if this does not feel so great for you, you're welcome to sit in a cross-legged pose, but bring the opposite leg out in front of you. And then wherever you are, just fold forward. Let your spine, your back round. It's nice to have the head resting on something, either on your bolster, or I'm going to make little fists with my hands and rest my forehead on my fists. And the reason I do that is because right in the center of your forehead, there's a point called a yin tang point. In acupuncture, if you've ever had an acupuncture treatment, sometimes they'll needle that area, and that's to elicit the relaxation response in the body. That point, it connects the governing meridian with the central meridian in the body that runs around the front and the back of your body, and it all connects right there. That's one of the points. And it just elicits the relaxation response. It stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So allow yourself to rest here. And then notice where you're feeling the sensations. Is it more in the low back? Is it in the hips? Is it in the back of the leg? Everybody's body is different. Notice what's happening for you today. And your yin practice might be different every time, depending on your hydration level, depending on your nutrition sometimes, depending on what activities you've done during the week. This is a way of just rebalancing the body. Let's take another full deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And then slowly coming up, we'll take that spinal twist. So you're welcome to leave your leg extended, or you can bend your left knee, bring that left heel in, bring your right hand back behind you, hug your right knee, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Keep your upper back broad, your shoulders level, and then decide whether you want to have your gaze back behind you, maybe a neutral gaze, or maybe you want to take that next stretch, taking your gaze over your front shoulder, and then dropping left ear towards left shoulder to feel a stretch on the right side of your neck. Just doing whatever feels best. As we compress the vertebrae of the spine, the spinal twist, so healthy for us, especially if you tend to sit a lot. We'll take 3 more full breaths here. Deep inhale, full exhale. Inhale, slowly unwinding. Stretch your legs out in front of you. You can shake them out. You can windshield wiper your knees from side to side. It might even feel good to take a couple of reverse tabletops. So I'm going to bring my hands back behind my hips, press my knees forward as I bring the hips up a couple of times just to get some blood circulating again. And then from here, we're going to make our way onto our belly. So I'm going to keep my bolster close by. And the first pose we're going to take is a heart-melting pose to open up the shoulders. So my knees stay underneath my hips. I'm going to bring my hands out in front of me. And I'm going to melt my heart down towards the ground. Now my forehead can easily reach the ground here. Your hands can be as wide as your mat or maybe a little wider. If your forehead is not quite reaching the ground, this is where you might want to place the bolster or something underneath your head. Or it's okay to let your head hang out in space here. Just be mindful that your hips are over your knees. You're not coming back into a child's pose, but you're feeling the stretch now more in your upper back and between the shoulder blades. We'll just take 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, feel your body getting heavier. And one more breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, drop your elbows down to the floor, bring your legs back behind you, coming into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is all about your low back. You can bring your feet a little wider. If being on your elbows feels a little too much on your low back, bring your elbows forward. You can even stretch your arms out a little bit more. Here, my elbows are underneath my shoulders, but I just need a little bit more compression in my low back. So I'm going to grab my bolster to elevate my elbows. And then I'm going to rest my chin in my hands and hang out here. Choose your variation and then allow the body to settle into the floor. We'll be here for a couple of minutes. Now, after a couple of breaths, if you want to go a little deeper, I'm going to invite you to now lift up your feet. Make sure your knees are as wide as your mat, and then bring your heels together and hang out here. If that gets to be too intense, please drop your feet back down to the ground or remove your bolster. Close your eyes. Allow yourself to feel that sense of fragility and vulnerability in the low back. Here we're targeting kidneys. So there is this sense of vulnerability that happens in this particular pose and maybe some of the other poses as well. And that's natural and normal. Close your eyes and dive into that sensation. As long as you're not feeling any sharp pain, just compression. And you'll know that, you'll gauge that by your breath. If you're in any doubt, please come down to the next level. We'll be here for just a few more breaths. Now if you feel like my body's pretty settled, I could use just a little bit more sensation, I'll give you another variation. And what you can do here is bring your hands to the floor and lift your elbows off the floor. Now the closer my hands come to the floor, this is coming into seal pose, and maybe your feet would be better on the ground here rather than up in here. You'll feel a lot more sensation in your low back. Close your eyes. It's okay to allow your shoulders to come up towards your ears here. Just hang out here. Let all the muscles hang off the bones. Let's take 3 more full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, if you're up, your elbows are up like me in seal, you'll drop your elbows down to the ground. This will make a little easier transition. Hold it here for a breath. And now we're going to slowly make our way all the way down to the ground. So I'm going to make a little pillow with my hands. I'm going to bring my right knee out to the side and then rest the left side of my face on my hands. Just hanging out here to let that low back release. This is called half frog pose. Now some of us might just want to hang out here, and this is as far as you'll go. If you want a little bit more quad stretch, I'm going to give you a few more options. So you can bend your left knee, grab a hold of the top of that left foot. Maybe you use both hands here. Maybe your right hand is down on the floor to support you. And that might feel like it's enough for you. If you want even a little bit more, then take your right hand, hold on to your left foot. I'm going to turn over to the side and get a quad stretch here, just lying on my side. And that might be enough for you. If you want a little bit more, take your left hand and see if you can grab a hold of the bottom of your right foot, and then have your chest up towards the ceiling, coming into cattail pose. Then just hang out here. So here I'm getting a stretch in my left quad. I'm also getting a nice stretch on the outside of that right leg in an IT band stretch. Close your eyes, allow the body to arrive. So pick your pose, half frog or that quad stretch, or this full variation. Whatever would feel most nurturing to your body at this moment. And just breathe. Take 3 more full breaths. Every exhale, feel the body getting a little heavier as it surrenders to gravity. Letting go. Focusing on that exhale. And then when you're ready to, if you're like me, you'll release your right foot. Let's all meet back in that half frog pose, rolling back onto your belly. Right knee out to the side. Take a breath there. And then slide your right leg back behind you. And we'll come into one more round of either Sphinx pose or seal pose. I'm going to hold it up here. Again, if you want to lift your feet up, you're welcome to do that. You can walk your hands in a little bit more for deeper compression. Allow your chin to tuck towards your chest. Allow the shoulders to come up towards your ears, and just hang out here for just a few breaths. As you target that low back, kidney region again. Notice if you're clenching your glutes, release your glutes. Release all the muscles that don't need to be worked right now. Notice if you're tensing your face or your jaw, if you're holding tension in anywhere in your body. And let go. Take one more breath here. Inhale. If your elbows are off the floor, you'll drop your elbows back down to the floor. We'll all meet in Sphinx pose. And then we'll move to the other side. So when you're ready to, bringing that left knee out to the side, making a little pillow with your hands, and then take your gaze over to your left side. I'm going to turn around so you can see me here. And once again, you can just hang out here. If you want that quad stretch, take your quad stretch. If you want a little bit more, take your left hand, hold on to the top of your foot, roll over to your right side, maybe hang out here. And if you want even more, maybe you can extend through that left leg, hold on to the bottom of your foot. Of course, if you have a strap or a yoga strap or a scarf, you can always place that around your foot too and try this out. And just breathe wherever you are. Try to rotate your body so your chest is up towards the ceiling. shoulder blades against the floor as much as possible. Close your eyes and breathe. One more full breath, inhaling, exhaling. Slowly unwind and come back into your half frog pose. And hang out here for a breath or two. Allowing that low back to release. Take another breath here. Slide your leg back behind you. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your knees wide. And sink your hips back towards your heels, finding a child's pose. Allow the forehead to rest on the floor. Maybe you stack your hands into fists and rest your forehead on your hands. Just hang out here for a few breaths. Maybe you move your head from side to side, massaging out your forehead center, or maybe you sway your hips from side to side. Whatever would feel nurturing for you. We'll take a couple more breaths here in your child's pose before we move on. And slowly slide your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself up. And we're going to make our way onto our backs now. So be sure to have your scarf or your strap handy if you have one. And we'll come onto our back. And from here we're going to come into a moving bridge just to get a little bit more circulation in the low back. So if I reach down, I can reach my heels with my middle fingers. My feet are hip distance apart. As I inhale, I lift the hips up, bring the right hand back behind me onto the floor. Inhale, exhale, lower everything down. Inhale, press your knees forward, lengthen out through your front body, left hand comes back behind you. Exhale, lower everything down. 2 more times each side. Inhaling up, feel the length in the front body, exhale, lower down. Press your feet into the floor. Inhale, press your knees forward. Exhale. Inhale, and exhale. On the left side, inhale and exhale. Inhale, press your feet into the floor, lift the hips up, press the knees forward, bring your arms back behind you, both arms back behind you, press your feet into the floor, lift the hips up just 1 more inch, and then slide your hands down by your sides, coming into bridge pose. Close your eyes. Deep inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly roll down, upper back, middle back, low back. Bring your feet as wide as your mat, bring your knees together. Just spread out the sacrum. And notice the low back releasing into the floor. Close your eyes. And we'll slowly reach for your strap or your scarf, whatever you might have handy. Even that towel would work. Bring your right foot in and bring the strap around the bottom of the right foot for a nice hamstring stretch along the back of that right leg. If you don't have a strap, that's okay. Just bring your hands, thread them behind your right thigh. I can reach my big toe, so if you have that in your practice, grab your big toe. Now that left leg, the knee could be pointed up towards the ceiling. That might feel okay. You might want to stretch that leg out long. Maybe that feels better for you. Another option, if you want a little bit of a hip stretch here, a hip opener, you'll leave your knee up towards the ceiling and then bring that left knee out to the side for a half butterfly on this side. And I'm going to take my left hand, place it on top of my left thigh. Close your eyes. Feel the whole back settle into the floor. Deep inhales, full exhales. Feel that stretch in the back of your right leg. Take another breath here. Take your left hand, if your left thigh is falling open like that, or even if your left leg is on the floor, stretched out, bring your left hand to your left thigh. And then you're going to open your right leg out to the side. Go as far as you want to until you feel a stretch in your inner thigh. Once again, close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling. If you don't have a strap, you can support your leg for sure. I like to bring my hand on the inside of my leg to support my leg this way. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. And then gently guide that leg back up towards the ceiling. Left knee comes up towards the ceiling. And now stretch your left leg long. And you can have a choice here to either bend your right knee and bring it across your body, or keep your leg straight. If you have your strap or your scarf around the bottom of your foot, you can keep that leg straight. Bring your right arm out to the side and guide it across your body. And you'll get a nice stretch along your IT band here for a nice supine twist, or you can have your knee bent. Allow that right shoulder to fall down towards the floor. Deep full breaths in through your nose, maybe out through your mouth. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly come back to center. Bring your left foot back down to the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And we'll come into a supine pigeon here. So I'm going to thread my hands, bring them behind my right thigh and my left thigh. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you can bring your hands around your shin. Maybe you even need a strap here around the bottom of your thigh. And maybe here you are holding on to your leg. And then from here, some of us are super flexible. If you're not feeling much sensation, you want a little bit more, rock a couple of inches over to your left, and you'll start feeling more stretch in that right hip. Wherever you are, close your eyes. You're gently drawing that left knee in to feel a deeper stretch, but just hang out here. Let the face be soft, jaw soft. Enjoy the stretch. Enjoy the sensation of this compression in your tissues. 3 more full breaths. One more deep inhale. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Slowly drop your left foot to the floor. Leave your right ankle over that left thigh. Bring your arms out to the sides. And then I'm going to walk my left foot to the right side so I can, actually, no, let's do it the other way. So I'm going to walk my left foot over to the left side, to the left corner of my edge of my mat, and then drop my knees over to the right. So just having that right ankle over the left thigh is going to weigh that left thigh down. So I feel a nice stretch along the top of that left thigh. Close your eyes, shoulders flat on the floor. Notice what sensations you feel. And breathe. One more deep inhale. Exhaling, completely release. And then slowly bring your left foot to the floor. Uncross your knees. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Bring your knees together. Once again, allowing the sacrum to broaden. Low back to relax and release into the floor. If you want to, bring one hand to your chest, the other hand onto your belly, and come back to your intention. That word that you started with at the beginning of your practice. Whatever that was for you. Feel the warmth of your hands on your body as you send that message in towards your body, to every cell of your being. Take another full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, deepen, soften. And then release your arms out to the sides, and we'll come to that hamstring stretch on the other side. So my feet are hip distance apart. I'm going to take that scarf around the left foot now and bring it up towards the ceiling. Once again, you might want to stay here with your right knee up towards the ceiling. You might want to stretch that right leg out. Or you might want to leave the right foot on the floor and then open that right knee out to the side in half frog. But what we're most going for is the stretch in the back of the left leg. If you have it, maybe you grab your big toe, or you can take your hands around your thigh. Close your eyes, soften your face. Noticing the sensations in the back of that left leg with curiosity. Noticing how this side might feel different from the other side. Maybe they feel equally the same. If you're super tight, you might even have that knee bent slightly. As long as you're feeling the stretch, that's all you're going for. Doesn't matter how bendy you are. It's your body. Do what feels best for you. Take one more breath here. And then slowly, you can take your right hand. If your right leg is straight, you'll take your right hand to your hip, your thigh, or your half frog. And then you're going to open that leg out to the side. So I'm using my scarf here. I could have grabbed my big toe, or I can take my hand onto my calf and guide that leg open. And close your eyes. Once again, doing what feels most nurturing for your body. What would feel best right now at this moment? Maybe that left knee is slightly bent. Maybe you have a scarf around the bottom of that left leg. Close your eyes. Take a deep, full breath in. And a complete exhale. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. If your right knee is out to the side, if your right leg is long, please bend your right knee, bring your right foot back down to the floor, bring your left leg up towards the ceiling. And now we'll come into that twist on this side. So you can extend through that right leg, bend your left knee, bring the left knee out to the side. Or you might want to bring the scarf underneath the bottom of your left foot and extend that leg out to the side for more of a IT band stretch along that left hip and the outside of the left leg. Allow that left shoulder to soften down towards the floor. It might feel better to have that left knee bent, or it might feel better to have that leg straight. Make your choice and then allow the body to settle and arrive. Let's take a few deep, full breaths here. One more full deep inhale. And a complete exhale. And then slowly come back to center. Bring your right foot to the floor, right knee is bent, cross your left ankle over that right thigh. And when you're ready to, you'll slowly thread your hands between your legs, grabbing a hold of the back of that right thigh or the right shin, pulling that leg in towards you. If you want a little bit more sensation in that left hip, you'll rock a couple of inches over to your right. Allow your face to soften, your jaw to relax. A few more deep, full breaths here. And as you exhale, extending your exhale and signaling the body that it's okay to be here in this moment, in this stretch. Relaxing, releasing, restoring. One more deep inhale. And as you exhale, drop your right foot to the floor, bring your arms out to the side. I'm going to walk my right foot slightly over to the right, and then drop both knees over to my left. So my left ankle still stays on my right thigh, and it's going to pin that leg down. So I feel a stretch along the right side. That hip. Close your eyes. Allow the body to settle into the floor. Letting go with every exhale. So we're holding these stretches for a couple of minutes at a time. You can hold these in stretches for up to 5 minutes at a time. You can come back to this video at any time you'd like. And just pause it between the stretches if you want to hold them a little longer. Or maybe just pick a few that feel best for your body at any moment and kind of mix and match and make your own little routine if you'd like. Take a couple more deep, full breaths here. And then slowly once again, unwinding the legs, bring your feet as wide as your mat, bring your knees together. You can rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and come back to your intention if you'd like. Or maybe just bring the arms out to the sides, feel the opening through your chest, through your shoulders. Allow the body to get heavy, the whole back against the floor. Feel that low back release. And we're going to move into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So I'm going to give you a couple of different options here. The first pose might be just to lie on your back, arms out to the sides in your traditional Shavasana. Might feel nice to place a blanket underneath your head if you'd like. Place a blanket over you. Your second option might be to come into a variation of Viparita Karani, legs up the wall pose. If you have a chair or a sofa nearby, I'm going to come close to my chair, bring my feet onto the seat of the chair, all the way from my knees to my feet. use my hands to support myself, to fall back. And here, it's nice to have those hips underneath the knees. It allows the pelvis to kind of stabilize into the floor and the arms out to the sides. Make sure you have a jacket or some blanket, something to cover yourself with, because you can be here for a little while and you can get cold. If you have that eye pillow, or if you have that towel, that hand towel, you can place it over your eyes to block out the excess light. And this would be option number 2. Option number 3 would be to take your blanket and we're going to come into a nice hip opener here. So I'm going to take my blanket and roll it into a tube, a really long tube. You can also do this with a beach towel. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together, the knees wide apart. The center of the blanket will come over my feet. I'm going to grab the ends, move my hips towards my heels so that the blanket can come underneath my low back. And then settle down here. And what I've done is basically I've bound my feet so they don't have anywhere to go. My knees are fully supported. My low back is fully supported. My arms can come out to the sides. And here, if you want to, you can bring that bolster underneath your chest or behind your head and hang out here. So do whichever variation you like this morning, whatever would feel best for you. And allow your body to settle down. I'm going to put on a little music for Shavasana. Take your time, make yourself comfortable. At first, you might want to move your head from side to side, releasing any tension in your neck and your face. Make any small adjustments in your body as you settle down into the floor, so you can completely let go. Well, some people tend to skip Shavasana. To me, it's probably the most important pose in yoga practice, where you get this integration of your whole yoga practice and allow it to settle into your body. So I invite you to just spend the next few moments with me. As you settle in, feel the back of your head resting on the floor, the weight of your head. Feel your neck relax here. As you breathe in and out naturally and easily. Not controlling the breath, but simply observing it. Witnessing the ease of the breath. Notice the relaxation in your forehead, the backs of your eyes, cheeks, jaw, throat. You might notice that from the middle of the forehead, the skin releases towards each side, falling towards the floor. The left side of the face is falling towards the left, the right side of the face falling towards the right. Don't try to do anything, just simply observe and notice. The outer corners of the eyes release down towards the floor. The corners of the nostrils fall away from each other, and the corners of the mouth fall down towards the floor. Perhaps you notice how The lips might feel rubbery and passive. And the jaw also feels soft and passive. Notice the weight of your upper arms and your shoulders release into the floor. The back of the arms and hands heavy and relaxed. As the arms get heavier and maybe even feel a little longer. And then notice the softness in the belly and all the internal organs, liver, kidneys, the whole stomach. Feel them falling towards the floor. Low back and hips deeply relaxed and heavy as the legs get heavier and heavier and longer and longer. Your whole body relaxed as you continue to breathe in and out easily and naturally. Letting go of something. Now bring your awareness back into the palms of your hands. Bring to mind that intention, that feeling you felt at the beginning of your yoga practice, sitting in the palm of each hand. Slowly bring one hand onto your belly, the other hand onto your chest, and feel that feeling that you've chosen to focus on, filling you up with every breath as you breathe in and out. Allow that feeling to nourish every cell of your being. That sense of upliftment, joy, peace, connection, strength, self-compassion. And then slowly bring your hands together, rub your palms to generate some heat. And gently cup your hands over your eyes, feeling the warmth from your palms penetrate into the eye sockets. Take a deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, side out. And then gently hugging your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a great big hug for coming to yoga today. And slowly roll over to one side. Take a few breaths there, take your time. And as you're ready, please come up to find a comfortable seat. Keeping your eyes lower closed. Pausing here for a moment. Noticing the state of your mind, the state of your body, the state of your energy your mood after yoga this morning. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga today. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste.